Here we will see literals in Python. Literals in Python are defined as a raw data assigned to the variables or constants while programming. There are 5 types of literals in Python: string literal, numeric literal, Boolean literal, literal collections and special literals. First we will see string literal. String literal in Python are defined by enclose the text or the group of characters in single, double or triple quotes. With triple quote, you can write multiline string. String literals that are enclosed within single quotes are known as single line string. For example, single string equal to single quote, then welcome. Double string equal to hello world. And with print statement, we can print the single string or double string. Next is multiline string. A collection of characters or string that goes for multilines is known as multiline string. These kinds of strings are again implemented in two ways. First is adding backslash at the end of every line. That is, we can enable multiline strings in Python by adding a backslash at the end of every line, or using triple quotes. Triple quotes at the beginning and the end of the string literal allow user to create multiline strings. Next is numeric literals. Numerical literals in Python are those literals that contains digit only and are immutable. First is integer. These are the numerical literals that are 0, positive or negative natural numbers and contains no decimal points. The different types of integers are decimal, which contains digits from 0 to 9, binary, which contains only 2 digits 0 and 1, octal contains the digits from 0 to 7, and hexadecimal contains digits from 0 to 9 and alphabets from A to F. Next is float. The floating point literals are also known as real literals. Unlike integers, these contains decimal points. Float literals are primarily of two types: fractional, which contains both whole numbers and decimal points, and exponential, which are represented in the powers of 10. The power of 10 is represented by small e or capital E. An exponential literal has two parts, mantissa and the exponent. Mantissa are the digits before the symbol e in an exponential literal. In computing, it denotes the significant digits of floating point numbers. And exponents are the digits after the symbol e in an exponential literal. It denotes where the decimal point should be placed. Next is complex. Complex literals are represented by a plus bj, where a is a real part and the entire b part along with j is the imaginary or complex part. Here j represents the square root of -1. Next is long. Long literals were nothing but the integers with unlimited length. From Python 2.2 and onwards, the integers that used to overflow were automatically converted into long integers. From Python 3, it is the standard int type. Long literals used to be represented with a suffix small l or capital L. Next is Boolean literals. Boolean literals in Python are straightforward and have only two values: true, which represents the value 1, and false, which represents the value 0. Python literals have one special literal known as none. This literal is used to signify that a particular field is not created. Python will print none as output when we print the variable with no values assigned to it. None is used for end of list in Python. Next is literal collection. To work with more than one value, we use literal collections in Python. Literal collections are of four types: list literals, tuple, dictionary and set. Lists are a collection of data declared using the square brackets and commas as a separator between the elements. This data can be of different types. Another important thing is lists are mutable. Next is tuple. The literals that are declared using round brackets and can hold any data types are tuples. Commas separate the elements of tuples. but tuples are immutable. Dictionary is a collection of data that stores a value in a key value format. These are enclosed in curly brackets and separated by commas. Dictionaries are mutable and can also contain different types of data. Set literals are a collection of unordered data that cannot be modified. It is enclosed within a curly brackets and separated by commas.